name is Sanjana Diddige, and welcome back to a deep dive into the digital divide. Today, I'm joined by the members of the Mind and Unwind campaign.
Hi, my name is Sanjana Diddige.
My name is Omshri Rupati.
My name is Isha Kujula.
My name is Roman Mohanty.
And I'm Sheena Jatleen.
Okay, perfect. So thank you guys for being here today. So first off, to start, and any one of you can speak, can one of you explain to me what Mind and Unwind is and how that idea started?
Yeah, so Mind and Unwind is a group. We're doing mental health promotion for HOSA at our HOSA chapter. We're dedicated to empowering teens, people like us, to take control of their physical health, and that's been shown that it'll affect your mental health in a positive way. So we do a bunch of events, we do activities, mindful activities, but also physical activities to try and get people like us out there and help us in other ways than just our physical.
And how did the idea of Mind and Unwind start? Like, what inspired you guys to start this campaign for this particular event?
So Mind and Unwind was made for our HOSA. We're all on HOSA right now. And within that, our event is mental health promotion. And for this, we have to promote mental health, physical wealth, sleep, and just ways and tips on disorders and things such as like that. So that we came up with Mind and Unwind. So Mind and Unwind directly targets each one of these, and with our events, our social media posts, and just things that we do with our peers, this helps make our event possible.
That sounds really interesting and impactful. Does anyone want to elaborate on what kind of events and activities you've done to raise awareness about this so far?
So we had our painting event. It was a wonderful activity. We had multiple people come to the library to paint. It was like a de-stress activity. So that was one nice event. And then we soon to have a pickleball event. It kind of helps with the correlation of how physical wellness is like correlated to your mental health. So that's an event that can promote that.
And are you guys, how does technology and social media play a role into your campaign?
Well, we mostly campaign on social media. We get all our posts on social media, and most of our viewers and like people who we campaign to view our content on social media, like Instagram. So social media plays a huge part in our campaign and like getting more like outreach.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue into my next question. So how do you guys think technology has affected our generation's mental health, both positively and negatively?
So positively, technology has done a lot for our generation, because positively it creates communities that people can join, so they don't feel isolated and they have somewhere to really connect with people like themselves. But then on the flip side, it also has negative effects as well, such as there's unrealistic standards that people compare themselves to, and a lot of people say comparison is the thief of joy, and there's so much comparison online where it can really negatively affect someone's mental health.
Yeah. And so you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what are your thoughts on the role of social media in shaping mental health, and how do you address this through Mind and Unwind?
We use it to reach out to new people, make them aware that there's help out there if they need it, and we can help them do what they need to do. But also, it helps with spreading the word of declining mental health, and it helps destigmatize something that people don't want to talk about. So if someone's struggling, they might feel like they're alone or that they don't want to communicate with others. But with social media, it helps us communicate to them that they aren't alone, and there's other people just like them having the same struggles.
Yeah, and I also think I'd like to add on to that, social media is a great way for even just communication between people. Like, say someone's only way to reach out to their friends or someone that they need to talk to is social media. I feel like it allows for so many more ways for people to be connected, rather than just, because not everyone has access to, certain types of technology or certain types of messaging apps or social media or things like that. So I feel like it makes people connected. So I know you guys said that your main form of outreach is social media, but are there any other things that you guys do to try to stay connected and get the word out about mental health?
In our own HOSA chapter, as I mentioned, we're a part of HOSA, but we do a lot of events where we promote people within our HOSA chapter to participate, not using social media, really just kind of interpersonal networking. So for example, we had a rush week last week, and we promoted a bunch of different things, mainly just spreading awareness about mental health. and we promoted that to our school chapter to try and help build some sense of community.
And then also, just to add on to what Ronan said, last week we also collaborated with another club as well, just to talk with them and spread our word too.
I was going to say, I noticed that you guys collaborated with another club, and I think that kind of expands your reach to not just people within HOSA, but also, the entire school student body and even faculty. So, kind of moving on to the next question. So, how do you think that young people or people our age in our generation can find a healthy balance between benefiting from technology, but also avoiding the negative impacts that it has on mental health?
Mostly related to setting time limits, because what happens is when you're on social media, you tend to lose track of time and you just end up doom scrolling. So I think setting time limits for certain things you do will help you with maintaining how much time you spend on social media and how much time it would benefit.
And going off of what Isha said, it is really about your personal limit. If you're on social media for let's say 2 hours every day, and just most people would not do this, but most people just should think of it to themselves. These 2 hours, what could I do better? What could I do to be more academically focused and such like that? So I think social media is just something that we should set our own limits to, our own personal limits. There isn't only 1 hour a day. It should be more of how much time do I have to be on social media? It should be based off your own construct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I agree with Tommy because it has to come within. Because obviously in social media you can join multiple communities, you can talk to more people, and you can I know there's places in YouTube and TikTok or Instagram where you can get help in multiple subjects and all that. But also it can also lead to many negative factors. So I do agree that managing your time and also coming out of social media is a good thing. That it has to come from within, and you have to realize oh, I'm doom scrolling. I just need to put my phone away and just do what I need to do.
And you mentioned TikTok. This wasn't even one of the questions I had planned, but in light of the new TikTok ban, a lot of my friends have been at least this is going to keep me off my phone. My screen time is going to go down. So, but then they're also freaking out because TikTok is gone. So, do you guys think that the TikTok ban, will help with our generation's mental health, or do you think it will have more negative impacts?
I think it could go both ways. TikTok isn't our only form of social media, so getting rid of TikTok would just have people move to Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, for example. But I do also agree that TikTok itself is a very toxic community in most parts. Obviously there is, let's say there's book talk, cooking talk, and dancing talk. But some within that, there's other standards that is a very toxic environment itself. So I do believe having TikTok removed from us would push people to do something in real life or things of that sort. But I do also believe if people want to that bad, they will seek other measures going to different social media platforms. So it really just depends on person to person is what I perceive it as.
Yeah. So basically what you guys are saying is control is key. It's you can have social media, but you need to do it in limiting ways, otherwise it's going to take over your life.
And also like you were saying, control is key. And kind of going off what Sami said as well about the toxicity, social media is very unique because it gives you full control over what you see and what you do. Let's say you might get placed in some awkward social situations. Those might be hard to get out from, but social media, you have the option to block or ignore or not. You don't have to interact with everything that you see. You have full control. Now, that comes with responsibility though, and it comes down to the fact that you have to take control over if you're going to be in toxic environments or not, because if you place yourself in these toxic environments, that's just diminishing your mental health. It doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, kind of talking about the effects of technology in mental health, I wanted to get you guys' opinion on whether you guys think that technology kind of helps open people's eyes and breaks the stigma almost around mental health, or do you think that sometimes it just makes people even more closed-minded?
It can go both ways, but for the most part, what I've seen on social media is that it's very as Sonia and Ronan mentioned, it's very toxic on some social media platforms. So it makes some people a little bit more closed-minded once they see all the comments or once they see what is being posted. But if you look at the more positive side, I guess social media is a great way to promote getting help for yourself if you do require it, but we don't see a lot of that.
Yeah.
So going off what Isha said, I do fully believe that. Like for social media itself, a lot of people just scroll over it, correct? And for some of those people, they on specific videos, people will leave their opinions. And when someone opens that comment and they see that opinion, they'll run with it. They won't make up their own opinion. They'll see the first thing and run with it. I do believe that's really toxic because not making your own thoughts and opinions and just running with whatever you see online can be really detrimental to one's mental health. And I don't think that's safe, for example. Well, I wouldn't say safe, but I don't think that's okay for people to see the first thing online and just be like, I'm going to go with this because it's the group consensus.
Yeah. And, I almost feel for the longest time, if someone has said, hey, I'm feeling depressed, hey, I'm going through this, people have kind of just shut them down and said that they're, being dramatic or they just need to work through it. So do you guys think that, technology and social media has kind of helped people realize that no, when someone says that I'm going through something, it's genuinely something serious? Or do you think that it has just caused people to be even more close-minded and even more against understanding these problems?
I don't think it causes more people to be closed-minded because being on social media connects you with actual professionals who give you genuine advice on how to help you. Whereas if you're face-to-face, you might feel embarrassed or you don't really want to talk about your feelings because of just negative feedback that you got from friends or people who just really shut you down. Mm-hmm. So I think being on social media can put you in communities that can help you with that for sure.
All right, that's a good answer. So you guys said you were involved in the HOSA chapter in your school, right? And so because you're so involved in your school, how do you think that schools can better address the intersection of technology and mental health for students?
I think currently our school does a pretty good job of that. They've had us recently taking a lot of not cybersecurity, I want to say, but cyber safety, online protection, just kind of helping yourself stay away from what I was talking about earlier, toxic environments, and helping you stay safe. I think our school does a pretty good job of that, but for schools that may not follow the path that we are, I would say that they should start teaching their students how to take care of themselves online, how to put themselves in good environments and not toxic ones, and just how to take care of yourself when you're not being actively guided.
And I think that, with social media and technology, obviously we have seen a lot of positive impacts with it, but then there's also that one negative effect of cyberbullying. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's becoming a more and more common form of bullying, which obviously has such a big impact on mental health than in-person bullying. So I think that, like you said, schools should maybe start implementing classes or something like that bring more awareness about.
I believe our school has that app you can download where you can anonymously text, or not text, but you can send a message saying oh, there's something's going on in this app, or there's a threat in general. So I guess that's one way our school implemented an app that can help benefit.
Yeah, and I think that anonymous sending really helps because sometimes people might be I don't want to get involved in drama, or I don't know what's going to happen if I say something. Mm-hmm. So, this is a way for them to still make a change, but not necessarily face repercussions that they shouldn't have to face. So, kind of to close off this episode, I wanted to get each of your thoughts. I want each one of you to answer this. If you could design your own AI or technology tool to support mental health, what would that look like?
So for me, an AI chat room is something that I would really look into because sometimes you might not be able to find a certain community that you can mesh with and talk to, but having an AI chat room that could cater to your emotional needs, I feel like that really hits what you need to hit when talking to someone.
Yeah.
For me, I was kind of thinking more along the lines of an app you can download on your phone. AI is getting a lot more generalized nowadays. It can take everything you see or do and it can put it into context. So what I was thinking is it would kind of analyze your screen time, so seeing what you spend time on, what you look at, and really, because screen time takes up a large majority of most people's days, what they look at can affect them a lot. So this app would analyze what you look at, and depending on if you're using too much or too little screen time, it could give you suggestions and maybe even give you a different kind of app that you could use to help your own mental health.
Well, I think Ronan has a great idea there. Like, I think that should be an app. But one other thing I would like to add is like different support groups. Like having different, like it's already on social media and such, but it's not as prominent on those apps. So I was thinking, what if we have a new app, and on this you can directly like you can type in like what your interests are, what you do every day, how much of something you do a day, and with that you would be like, I wouldn't say place, but you could like pick what group to go in, and you could always talk about your feelings, talk about your day with people. So I always feel like having interactions with a person is always better than just staying online itself. So maybe doing just talking with these people that have similar interests to you could really help your mental health.
It's a great way for if anyone felt like they didn't have a community or felt isolated, then it would definitely help them.
I like Swan's idea of just like talking to someone, but instead of just being like regular people, maybe like have like, I like the idea of an app. So maybe just like an app where you can like fully like talk to like a professional to like get some advice. And you don't have to like go sign up or anything. Just like you can be like anonymous, like no one else has to know, and it would just like you could go and get professional help, but like you wouldn't have to go anywhere for it.
Yeah.
I would also make an app, but against all the social stuff, because I feel like social media is like a lot of social stuff because it's in the name. You don't want to see much people or talking, so I definitely want an app where you can manage your screen time while also it's a combining with journaling too. You can like share what it's like a diary or journaling. I don't know. It's more like just talking about what you did today. What are your goals? And if you just complete that every day, I feel like you can see improvements. You can find your way out of the app. You'll stop doom scrolling, and then you can reach your goals better. I think that's good.
Yeah, and I feel like so many people now, even on social media, like all of these influencers and content creators have now shown that they're prioritizing their mental health instead of always being like go, go, go. Because, I think we've all started to realize that, like, especially with technology and AI, because everything has just been so much easier, it's been so much easier to do so many more things, so that we forget to take some time to ourselves or like take like a mental health day. So yeah, I didn't have any more questions, but if anyone else wants to add anything. No? All right, well, perfect. Thank you guys so much for being on the podcast today. Once again, my name is Sanjana Diddige, and this is a deep dive into the digital divide. Thank you for listening.